Hello beautiful people, it's your girl Jeannie and I welcome you to my channel. So today's tutorial is going to be about this beautiful jacket. Don't worry about how it looks because it looks beautiful. It's armless, it's sleeveless, and it's a collar. It has a notched collar, and right there I have some eyelets placed there, and I laced it with the same fabric. So this was the style that my client sent to me to recreate for her, and I think I did justice to it. It came out looking very beautiful as you saw on the thumbnail. So I decided to use that plain black fabric for it so that it will show the notched color effect, because if not everything would have just been the same. So I just made it up like that so that it will give it a very beautiful look, and I love the way it came out. So if this is what you're interested in, please let's go over. So this was what my client sent to me for me to recreate for her. So now I'll be cutting the back piece first. If you want to place your paper, you can place it on fold, but I'm using a single paper because I don't want to waste my paper. Now that paper, I went in by about half an inch from that line. As we progress, I just felt like that place was not straight, so I just decided to roll it up like that. So go ahead to draw out your basic body measurements. Get your shoulder slope, get your chest line, and then you get your arm holes. If you are frequent with my tutorials, you should be able to do all this without any stress. So the next thing for me to do now is to get my shoulder to my waist, which I'm going to be rolling out like so. And then of course the shoulder to the full length of the top. So however you want it. My client wanted to be 24 inches, but I added 1 inch to that to make it 25 inches. And so I ruled that out as well. So the next thing to do now is to just go ahead, divide the armhole into 2, and then divide my bust measurement by 4, add my sewing allowances. So like I said, this is just basically drafting out a basic bodice. So thank you all my beautiful subscribers all over the world. I really appreciate every one of you. Thank you, and keep sharing. So for the neck depth for the back, I came down by 3 inches, and for the neck width is going to be 3 inches. And so this is going to be on the waistline. I just want to impute my darts first. So in order to do that, just divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2, and then mark everything all the way from the chest line down to the hip line. That is the length of the top. And then on the waist area, you come in by half inch for your waist darts. And then you're going to be connecting like this. Just do exactly what I'm doing, and then you'll be getting it. So from the hip line, you go by 3 inches, and then you connect back. So now I'll get my waist measurement divided by 4. Add back the 1 inch for that, and then my sewing allowances. And then on the hip line, divide your hip by 4, and then add your sewing allowances. And then I'll be connecting everything together like so. So now in order for this to look very beautiful, so sorry about that, the line confused me. Just go in by half an inch and then slant it upwards. This is just in a bit to avert bulginess at the back. You know it's going to be a jacket, so it needs to sit properly at the back, just like the way we remove our bulginess from zipper allowance. That's what I did there. So now I want to do my princess that, and I wanted to get the armhole, half of the armhole circumference, but what I got was not giving me what I wanted. So I just simply came down by 4 inches from my shoulder, and it was okay for me. So you can do anyhow you want, but this is not going to be a bustier princess that is just going to give it that beauty. You know, when you sew jackets and it sits perfectly on your body, that is how it's going to come out. So that's why I decided to just come down by 3 or 4 inches from my shoulder, and then I connected the lines. So I'll ignore the first line and then go with the second line. So we are basically through with the back piece, and then I'm cutting this out as you can see. So just go ahead and follow exactly what I'm doing, and then you'll be glad you did, because you're going to be getting exactly what I got. So like I said, this paper is not cut on fold, it's just a single sheet, but when you want to cut on your fabric, please kindly cut this on fold. So I'll be removing the darts. So this is what we have for the back. By the time you sew everything together, it's going to form that dart part. So now for the back pieces, we're going to be cutting out like four. So that will be four on this side and four on the other side to make up for the back piece. Now for the front pattern, I've already gone out to rule some lines. So that line at first is about 5 inches, and then for the upper part is also I left about 5 inches on both sides. This is for us to get our notched collar effect. So I'm going to be drafting exactly what I did at the back from that line. I'm going to be doing everything that I'm marking now will be from this line that you are seeing that I'm doing. So the neck width 3 inches, I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll divide my armhole into two, and then divide the bust measurement by 4, and then add my sewing allowances to get my armhole curve. So we all know all this, we all know the basics. So just go ahead and do all this. So I'll get my shoulder to waist, and then shoulder to the full length. So on the waist, I will be dividing waist by 4. Add 1 inch for that, and then 2 inches sewing allowance. You can add 1 inch if you want, but I'm always used to using 2 inches as my sewing allowances. So right there on the full length, I just divide my hip by 4 and then add my sewing allowances as well. So, so don't mind me, I was busy gisting here. That's why I've forgotten what I was doing and the camera was rolling. My student was asking me a question, so I was just trying to answer. So I'm going to connect this like this. So the next thing to do now is to get our darts. So divide your bust span on nipple to nipple by 2. My client's was 3.5, and that was what I marked from the chest line down to the full end. And just like we did in the back, I'm going to be repeating the same thing in the front. Just take your waist measurement, and then take your half inch on both sides and then connect. So on the front part, I came down by 1 inch from the chest line, but for the back piece, I did not do that because the back is flat, you don't have any bust there. But in the front, you just come down by 1 inch so that it will not sit on top of the bust. And the same thing I did at the back, I connected, but just came down by about 4 inches from my shoulder, and then I connected like so. So now in order to get our notched collar, so you need to get the depth of the neck you would want first. That is where you want the overlap to start from. I think I'll be maintaining that point that I marked. So I'll just place my tail in my ruler like this and then connect the V shape, because we're not going to be using a round neck. It's going to be in form of a V shape. Now, before I forget, let me add my button overlaps for the front, and I'm making use of 1.5 inches respectively. So I'll just connect all that together in a straight line. So this is my button overlap. So now I'll bring my back pieces to measure what I have there. So just place your tape and then measure. By the time I finished measuring it, I had about 3.5 inches. So I'll be placing that up like this in a slanted way and then mark it and then connect like that. So I'll go in again by about a quarter of an inch from that initial line and then redraw it. So this is just in a bid for the collar to sit perfectly, and then I will ignore the first line. So now, depending on how wide you want your collar to be, so I'll be going for about 3.5 or 4 inches. Then you slant the tape like that as well before you connect. I just marked that for you to see it. So I was not supposed to do this. It's just because I was distracted. So sorry. I'm sorry about this. The mistake I made here. I was just distracted that day, so I connected without doing the gap where the overlap is going to be, which I'll be doing very, very shortly, because I've already connected it before I even realized, OMG, that I've done that. I was not supposed to do. Yeah. So I'll do that very shortly. Sorry. So now, in fact, it was when I got here that I got to realize that, something was amiss and I was distracted. So now I'll do it. So I'm trying to ignore that first line I drew. Please kindly ignore it. I was not supposed to carve it out yet. So I'll extend my button overlap of 1.5 inches up to that place and then connect like so. So the next thing for me is to get the angle like 45 degree for angle 45 degrees. I don't know if you understand me. So from that point, just I went up by 1 inch. If you like, you can use 1.5 inches, you can use 2 inches, depending on how wide you want it to be. So let me just rule it out straight like this here. So you can see the angle I meant. So that is where you're supposed to connect the collar to meet it. So you can see, ignore the first line and then please kindly go with the second adjustment. Thank you. So this is what we have, and we are through with the drafting for the front piece as well. So that's the buttonhole that I just labeled. So now I'll go ahead and quickly cut this out. So just follow the way I'm cutting this out and you will not be having any problem. So I'll go ahead to cut out this collar first. So just go ahead and cut it out like this. Good. So where you got that angle, please kindly give it a nudge. So I gave it a nudge. I didn't know the camera was not capturing that, so I gave it a nudge so that when I'm sewing, I will know where the sewing is going to get to on this button overlap. Don't worry, I'm going to be showing you when I'm sewing it so that you understand what I meant. So I'll go ahead to cut out the remaining pieces as you can see me doing. And then notch where my button overlap is going to get to. And then cut out the darts as well. So now you can see this is for our front piece. So this is how it's going to be by the time our button overlap is done. And then this is the collar. That's the notched collar effect. So these are our front pieces. So that collar is going to be cut on fold. Please kindly remember it's going to be cut on fold. I'm going to be using lining. I'm going to be using the same fabric to line the collar. So I'm going to cut out all the pieces as you can see. I added half an inch all the way around it. Aside from the side stitches, I added half an inch on those sides. So I'm going ahead to cut out plain black fabric that I'll be using as to cover up for this side in the front. So you can see I ironed the stay or gum stay on it to give it, because the collar, so it needs to be firm. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, run from my button overlap like so, and then come down straight. I'll be doing that on both sides, and then do the same thing on the side. This side, I'll open it up like this. So this is the lining as well. So for this lining, I didn't join it with it like this, no. I sewed that one first and then joined the lining separate and then joined the fabric separated. You're going to be seeing it when I come back to show you. So this is the back pieces. For the back pieces, we don't need any lining. I just added half an inch all the way around it for sewing allowance. So I just place like this and then join. Do the same thing for this side, join it and then join it in the middle. And then I'll give it a very good press and then come back to show you the next step. So I've gone ahead to do what I did. So this is what I meant when I told you that I was going to turn it with this. So you can see that the lines are not visible. So the next thing to do was that I left up about 10 inches from the waist area to give us the casing where we are going to be placing our eyelets. I folded half an inch inside, and then I'll be running a stitch on it to put them in place. So you can see that our notched effect is coming out. You can see the essence of using the plain fabric to accentuate the notched collar effect. So this is the back piece. I've gone ahead to join it and I've given it a good press as well. So now the next thing is to join them on the shoulders, and then I'll be placing right sides facing each other like this. Run half an inch, and then close it out on the sides. And then I'll be back to show you the next step. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what we have. So for the collar, I've gone ahead to cut my collar unfold, and I notched that part that I'll be fixing from the buttonhole side to the other buttonhole side. I made sure that I ironed gum stay on one side of the collar. So I'll be showing you how I'm going to be doing this. So you can see this one, I've already gone to run stitch on it to keep it in place, and I'll be placing my eyelets on those spaces later. So now get the middle part of your collar and then the middle part of the neckline like that. Use your pin to hold it down. So you're going to be placing it like this. That notched part that I told you, you run a stitch from it to the other side to cover up the collar, and then flip it out like this. So you're going to be running half an inch on it, and after running half an inch, you use this other upper part of the collar to make it neat. So I've gone ahead to do it, and this is what we have. So you can see the notched effect of the collar that we were talking about. So like this place, like I told you, I'll be placing eyelets on it and then create my buttonholes, and then we're good to go. So for the sleeves, I've gone ahead to use my bias to turn it out. So you can see how clean and how neat this top looks. It's very, very beautiful and it's very kinky. So thank you all and God bless you all. See you on my next tutorial. Like I always say, this is Genius Signatures and I'm signing out. Bye.